Now in North Carolina and New Hampshire, where two Democratic senators elected in 2008 are trying to fend off formidable Republican challengers. In New Hampshire, Democrat Jeanne Shaheen's trying to hold off former Massachusetts Senator Scott Brown. Brown has closed in on Shaheen in recent weeks and now trails her by just 3 points. More on that race in just a minute. And in North Carolina, Senator Kay Hagan is up by fewer than 2 points in the polling average there over North Carolina Speaker of the House Tom Tillis. Bill Clinton rallied Hagan supporters in Raleigh yesterday. It's a Democratic bastion where Hagan needs to rack up big margins if she's going to hold on to her seat.
She is a big supporter of reforming the college loan law to lower the interest rates and let you pay them back as a fixed percentage of your income so we can stop the college dropout rate and not bankrupt kids. Her opponent opposes the college loan reform. His party voted to increase interest rates on student loans, and he thinks we should get rid of the Department of Education.
So will Bill Clinton help Kay Hagan hang on? Just 3 days from now, joining us to discuss the North Carolina race is Loretta Beniti of Time Warner Cable News, and also standing by to talk about New Hampshire is Carol Robidoux, a correspondent for the Boston Globe. So, Carol, we'll get to you in just a minute, but we're going to begin with Loretta in North Carolina. And Loretta, let me ask the question this way, because at the start of this year, at the start of this campaign, a lot of people, Democrats included, but certainly Republicans, looked at North Carolina and they said, well, this is a state that, you know, President Obama, he did well in terms of getting his voters out in 2012, but he didn't do well enough to win. He lost the state by 2 points to Mitt Romney. So if in 2012, where the Democrats couldn't be more motivated, they still fell short then, in 2014, in a midterm year like this, it'll be much better for Republicans, much easier for a Republican challenger to take out Kay Hagan. And yet, Hagan has had this small, and it is small, but a stubborn lead that we're still seeing in the polls now on the weekend before. What accounts for that lead, and how is it heading into Election Day?
Well, when you look at both of these candidates, and you look at all of the polling on both of them, both Kay Hagan and Tom Tillis have very high unfavorability marks. Hagan has basically been on the offensive this entire time. She has been shaping what the debate has been about here in North Carolina. And even that clip you just played from President Clinton yesterday talking about education, that's really what we've been talking about here in North Carolina, which is more a state issue overall, but it's something that she's gotten traction with, and therefore, the voters are so mad at the state legislature here, which is where Tom Tillis is, that she's been able to use that and push it all the way now almost to November and hold on to this really tiny lead.
That's such an interesting point, and I wonder, I mean, so the story in North Carolina, for people who don't know, it was Republicans got complete control of state government in that 2012 election. The governor, both houses of the legislature, moved very aggressively on a very conservative agenda. Do you look at this race and say that, in a way, just politically speaking, that was a gift to Kay Hagan?
Well, she certainly has been tying him to the legislature. That is what she has been doing this entire race. So if you like what the legislature has done, which according to polls, most North Carolinians do not like what the legislature has been doing. But if you like what the legislature has been doing, then you'll vote for Tom Tillis. Kay Hagan sees that most people don't like that, and therefore she's tying him to the legislature, and she's hoping that that's going to bring her the victory.
Yeah, it's such an interesting story in North Carolina, because in every state we're hearing Republicans tie Democrats to President Obama, but in North Carolina, as you hear there, Kay Hagan has the opportunity to say, hey, you don't like the Republicans in Raleigh either, he's tied to them.